Benvenuto, welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're gonna make one of my favorite childhood and adulthood desserts called a whoopie pie. Now, there's some controversy over whoopie pies are from New England or Pennsylvania Dutch country. I don't know, they've been around a long time, and no matter where they're from, they're delicious. They're particularly popular in Maine, but we love them all throughout New England. So anyway, I'm going to quickly go over the ingredients with you because I know it seems like there's a lot, but again, there's just a little bit of each one of these ingredients, makes it look like a lot. But we're going to need some all-purpose flour. We need granulated sugar. Going to need some whole milk, and again, that's one of those things that with baking, and especially this recipe, because this is kind of a mix between a soft baked cookie and a cake, it needs that extra fat to make it delicious. We need both baking soda and baking powder, all right, and of course all the measurements will be in the recipe that Wade will provide. We need large egg at room temperature if possible. We need a couple pinches of salt, so we're going to need some kosher salt. We need some good old vanilla extract, all right? For the cake part of this, or the cookie part of this, we're going to need 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and we're going to need some vegetable oil as well for the cake part and the filling part. While I'm talking about the filling part a little bit, this is a little bit different of a filling than kind of a whoopie pie you might go into the supermarket and buy in that little plastic package, or that you may have gotten at, say, a bake sale or something like that. Because typically, especially a Maine whoopie pie, is made with marshmallow fluff. We're going to make a double chocolate whoopie pie today, so we're going to make our own filling, okay? So for that, we're going to need some semi-sweet chocolate. All right, baker's chocolate, otherwise known as baker's chocolate. We're going to need some cocoa powder. I've got the regular cocoa powder. You can also, if you want, you could use the special dark. It'll make it a little bit less sweet, but it's a sweet cookie anyway. We're going to need 6 tablespoons of room temperature unsalted butter, and we need 2 tablespoons of vegetable shortening. It helps if you've got a stand mixer with the paddle attachment to make the filling. Just a couple other things we're going to need. We're going to need a large bowl for the cake part of it. We'll mix that by hand. You need a couple cookie sheets lined with parchment paper. And of course, we're going to need a pot or pan to cook our filling in. All right. So before I get rid of all this, I'm just going to kind of go over, we've done this before, but I think it's best if you kind of use the spoon in method for your flour instead of just digging that right in there and packing it down. So again, we've done this before, but we'll just go over it one more time. There's our oven. I don't know if I mentioned it, but our oven has been preheating. It's now at 350 degrees. So you just kind of spoon it in, then level it off, okay? It's one of those recipes we don't want, if we pack the flour down, you're not going to get that nice texture. Of course, the best way to do it is you can measure it. We're going to use 2 cups of flour, and I think 2 cups of flour would be 10 ounces. We can check, and I'll make sure. I think it would be 10 ounces on a scale, a food scale, of course. So if we do it this way, we're not packing it down too much and ending up having too much flour. All right. I'm going to clean up the flour I got on the counter because you have to get flour on the counter. We'll put away the rest of this and we'll get going with the recipe. See you in a little bit. All right, so our filling is going to require a little bit of heating up our milk and letting it come to room temperature. So we're going to do this part of the filling first, so we can let this cool as we're going through the other steps. So in this pan, I've got the milk, I've got flour, baking powder, and we need a pinch of salt. Okay, that's a pinch of salt. All right, and you want to start to whisk this around. And what we want to do is we want to bring this up slowly. So right now I've got it on medium high, like I said, and we want to bring this up to, a high simmer. The minute you see 1 or 2 bubbles, good sized bubbles pop through the surface, it's done. All right, so anyway, that's what it looks like as we're starting it out. Okay, and you just want to start to mix that all together. Of course, the flour is going to act as a bit of a thickener for once all the other ingredients are in there. Splosh. All right, I'm going to bring that up. We'll not make you watch me stand here and stir this, but you get the idea, all right? As soon as it's ready, we'll come back. All right, guys, it's going to be hard for you to see the bubble, but you'll see it has thickened up considerably. All right, so that's where you want it. You want it to be about that thick. And it is one of those things you got to kind of stand close. All right, so that is done. We're going to set that aside. I'll get rid of our little burner and we'll go on with the next part of the recipe. All right, we're going to get our cake batter all mixed up. Okay, so in this bowl, I've got the flour, sugar, baking soda, baking powder, the salt in here, okay? So I'm just, just mix that a little bit together loosely like that. Helps get everything combined. So then this we've got all the other ingredients, our butter, our sugar, our oil, our vanilla. All right, so we're going to give that a good mix. Whisk that, try, get it fairly well combined. I'm going to dump this all in there. And give it a mix. And then we can start to get our milk in there. Of course, I should have done this in the mixer, but I thought I'd show you guys that I can use a bowl and whisk. I'm not being very successful at it though, am I? Now this is going to be, it's not going to be a loose like cake, liquidy type batter. It's going to be a little bit stiffer than that. If I could get it out of my whisk. Come out of there. All right. There we go, finally. I gotta pick it up like this. And then, so you want to, just to get it smooth, you don't want to overwork it too much, but it's smooth. We don't got any lumps. All right, that is done. All right, we'll be back in 1 second. All right, guys, I don't know what I was thinking. When I put my cocoa powder in the batter, I did 2 teaspoons. It should be a half a cup. Sorry about that. When I looked at it, I'm thinking, wait a minute, that looks way too light. So we're going to have half a cup and 2 tablespoons in there, but I'm sure it will be delicious. Good thing we discovered that before we got baking, huh? And I'm going to pick this up because it's, for some reason, oh, that looks and smells so much more like it's supposed to. Like I said, we've got our oven heated to 350. So I kind of said, you know, it should be, I think I said it should be a little looser than a cake batter, but no, it's going to be more like brownie batter. All right, I think that's good. I bet that's delicious. But we'll put it aside for now so we can go on. All right, so I got a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. This recipe, depending upon how big you make your whoopie pies, it should yield, I'm going to say 16 to 20 or 16 to 18 each halves, and then of course you make a sandwich with it, right? All right, so this makes this a lot easier if you use a 1.5 ounce scoop. That way you'll also get, you know, pretty even size on both sides, unless you're really good doing it with a tablespoon. So I'll do that and even it off. I still got a little too much in there, I think. And 1. And on this sheet, I think we probably will get 3 across. 2. They are going to rise. They're going to rise a lot, but they will also spread. And I think you got the gist, right? All right, let me finish this up and we'll come back and get them in the oven. Okay, guys, well, of course, weight always makes me second guess myself because now I'm not sure if that's going to spread out too much. But we're going to put them in our preheated 350 degree oven, and they're going to go for 8 to 9 minutes. You want it to be soft, but not raw. And we'll test that when it gets done. But let's bring them over to the oven, get them in. Good thing we have plenty that the next batch, after we cook this batch, I'll see how it comes out, and then I can make the next one perfect for you. All right, so I got my rack on the middle shelf. Okay. Set a timer for 8 minutes.
Sure, 8 minutes.
All right.
Starting now.
And we'll be back in 8 minutes. We'll take a look and see what they look like. Okay, stop. All right, it's been 8 minutes. They look good to me. Whoa, all right. I think that's exactly what we want, guys. And you can see how much they've spread. This one I put a little bit too close to the edge, but that's all right. It's still going to be delicious, but you just kind of want that little bit of crack on top. It should be, you know, just spongy. All right. Now, the one thing that you want to make sure is that's going to be hot, right, is that we try to get these on the parchment paper over to our cooling rack. All right, because that way if we leave them on the hot pan, they're going to continue to cook, and we don't want that. So we're going to let those cool 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll move them to a platter. All right, so since those ones came out pretty good, I'm going to finish up the rest, and we'll be back and finish up the filling, and then we'll put them together, and they'll be delicious. See you in a bit. All right, our other batch of whoopie, or the tops and the bottoms of our whoopie pies are out of the oven. They came out beautiful. I got 18 out of that batch. I probably could have gotten 19. So that's going to make 9. Yeah, it'll make 9 whoopie pies. So I deliberately made a little bit smaller of a batch because Wade and I have been watching our sugar intake and counting calories. This is going to be our treat for the week, and we'll give a couple away. But I didn't want to make, you know, a couple dozen of them. So, but if you do want to make a couple dozen of them, and if you make this recipe, you're going to want to just double everything. All right. So in this, now I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. I could have gotten away with just using one bowl, but I put our cooked part of this in this bowl, which I shouldn't have. I could have just combined it, but anyway, so you don't actually need to do this in 2 bowls, all right? So we got our sugar, our shortening, our vanilla, and our butter in here, and we're going to combine it on medium for about, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, probably about 3 minutes. We want everything to get creamy. We want the sugar to melt into the butter. And let me grab a spatula. No, all I have is a teeny tiny spatula left in the drawer. Everything else is dirty. And we'll shut that off and just scrape the sides down a bit. Now, interestingly enough, when you hear something room temperature, whether it be room temperature butter, what they mean is between 68 and 70 degrees. So if the room is between 68 and 70 degrees, that's room temperature. We have our AC on, but it's probably closer to 71, 72 in the house right now. But that's good. But anyway, if you ever hear that when they say bring something to room temperature, it's between 68 and 70 degrees. So, all right. I'm sorry, I thought he was going to cut. So you can see the butter is getting that pale yellow. We've been on about how many minutes? Did you get your timer on the camera? Yeah, so it's been about 2 minutes, right? All right, so I think that's good. I'll give it one more scrape down because I see a little bit of butter, unincorporated butter on the side there. And I'll give it another quick little mix. All right, and we will get our cooked mixture in there. You think that'll stay on there? If we do it fast enough. All right. So this is our cold cooked mixture. Like I said, I didn't need to empty it into this bowl. I should have done everything in one, but that's all right. Now, I'm gonna put this back on there, and we wanna get this nice and whipped. So we're gonna put it to medium, and that's gonna take about 5 minutes. All right, guys, so we'll be back in 5 minutes and see what it looks like. Alrighty, our filling is all nice and beautifully fluffy. All right, so we got, let's pick out a perfect one. I find that when I take them off the cookie sheet, if I tip them upside down on the platter, they don't stick because that is, it's a moist middle. So, all right, so we got our bottom or top half of the cookie, depending. And I'm gonna squeeze that in there. Put it on the platter and give it a smush. And there you go, guys. A double chocolate whoopie pie.
Looks like store-bought.
Isn't it beautiful? All right, I'm going to finish putting these all together, and then we're going to sit down with a nice glass of milk and enjoy our whoopie pies. See you in a little bit. All right, before we get to the best part of cooking or baking is I want to make a quick thought of the cream, because every time I make it I never think I'm going to have enough, but believe me, that batch will make enough to comfortably fill at least, how many cookies did I say we had? 9? 9 of your Whoopie Pies. We even have left over. I could have stuffed them even a little bit more, but I was afraid I wasn't going to have enough. But we have enough. So it's going to look like you're not going to have enough, but you're going to have enough. And even when I double the recipe, I think the same thing. Alrighty. Now, interestingly, what was it? Did you tell me? I know I bought you a store. I haven't made these in a long, long time, but I know I bought you a store-bought Whoopie Pie. One time we were traveling or on vacation, and you had said you never had a Whoopie Pie.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, and Wade grew up further south in the New England than I did. Maybe they hadn't gotten down there yet, but anyway. All right. Let's. Ooh, it feels soft yet firm. Nice frosting.
Smells delicious.
Oh, it smells like
Must be
between
was cooking too.
yeah, it smells like between a brownie and a cookie. Yep. All right, dig in.
That is good.
Now, I even just took them in the refrigerator for a little while, and they're delicious. Right out of the refrigerator. Of course, they'll keep for 3-4 days in the refrigerator. But if you make these, they're not going to stay around for long. Either you're going to eat them, or all your friends and family is going to smell it cooking down the neighborhood, and they're going to come to your house.
This is perfect.
Delicious. Thank you. With a double chocolate, you need some milk. I don't know if any of these are going to make it any place other than our bellies. All right, with that being said, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Whoopie Pie. I hope you all, I hope you all enjoyed watching us. And even more important, I hope you try these because they're delicious.
They are. Please like and subscribe and check out cherryhillhomecooking.com. See you on the next video.
Wow.
Bye. These are delicious. Well, I guess they're better than store-bought.
Much better.